We finally made it, guys. The last section of Unit 23, binomial probability, is coming to a close, okay? Now, this lesson is quick. It's not very long. I saved it to last for a reason, and I separated it for a reason. Let's just say I want to make sure you're good at this stuff, okay? So we have seen, and technically yesterday, we have seen that the expected outcome of a binomial experiment is the mean value mu, which is just NP. Well, suppose capital X is a binomial random variable with parameters n and p, so that x is distributed binomially with n trials and probability of success p. That's what that weird x squiggle b thing going on down there is. The mean of x is np. Yeah, we did that yesterday. The standard deviation, though, standard deviation is sigma equals the square root of np times 1 minus p. And that 1 minus p, that is the probability of failure, right? If p is probability of success, 1 minus p is probability of failure. It's just a complement. And then the variance would be that thing squared, because the variance is just the standard deviation squared. So standard deviation and variance of binomial distributions, fun. A fair die is rolled 12 times, and x is the number of sixes that could result. It says find the mean and standard deviation of the x distribution. You go, okay, well, mu is np. And how many times will we roll it? 12? And what's the probability of rolling a 6? What? Guys, what's the probability of rolling a 6? 1/6. Oh, okay, okay, we're here still. All right, great, 1/6. So the mean is 2. So yeah, the mean is 2. What's the standard deviation? Sigma is square root of np times 1 minus p. Well, we already know what np is. We just found it. np is 2. And 1 minus p would be 1 minus 1/6 or 5/6. So the standard deviation is the square root of 10/6, which is 5/3. The square root of 5/3. It's like 1.291. Now, we talked about standard deviations before, but I'm trying to remember in what context we did that for. Mean, median, mode. But what did we say about the standard deviation about that? That's all we said about it, right? It was just about how spread out the data was. We haven't yet learned what it means to be a standard deviation yet. So we get a deep understanding of what standard deviation actually means to statistics in the next unit. That's what Unit 24 is about. The normal distribution, standard deviations are a big deal to that. All right, so that was it. It was literally just, can you compute this? And of course, how many IB questions go, can you just compute something? 0 of them, yeah. But that doesn't mean you don't need to know how to do what I just did.
How many points is the actual?
The actual IB exam? It's 2 tests. They're both 90 marks. Oh, wait, no. The new exam is 80 marks. 2 of them times 80, so 160 marks. The old one was 100. Nah, it was 180. Yours is 160. They took out vectors. See, I didn't teach you any vectors last year. Vectors are no longer part of the SL curriculum. All vector knowledge got pushed up to HL.
So, like, if they did get taken out, would, like, vectors be, like, 100% on the exam?
Oh, yeah. So basically, every topic, there are 5 topics. Every topic is on the exam, always. It's on both of them, because it's a 2-day exam. It's a no calculator exam and a calculator exam. All 5 topics will be represented on day 1, and all 5 topics will be represented on day 2. So when we had 6 topics, all 6 topics were on both days.
I took the ACT this weekend. One of the questions was like, find the vector of this is this, and I'm like, oh, I have no clue.
Yeah, you have no clue of vectors, because if you didn't take pre-calc, you've learned 0 vectors. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yes. 5%, you're not allowed to talk about it, that could get you disqualified from the ACT. You know better than that. 5% of a batch of batteries are defective. Hey, 5% are defective. A random sample of 80 batteries is taken with replacement. Find the mean and standard deviation of the number of defective batteries in the sample. And you go, okay, well, mu is NP. Here, the probability of success is actually a bad battery. What a weird thing to say, but you know. N is 80, and P is going to be 0.05. And what does that give you? Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4. Cool. Okay. Oh, duh, 4. Yeah, I worked way too hard for that. I actually did the multiplication in my head. You know the fast way to find 5% of 80?
Half of 80 is 40.
No, you're working too hard. No, you're working too hard. What's 10% of 80? 8. Cut it in half. 4. There you go. I worked way too hard. What did you say? Oh, yeah. So 10% is 80, and then, yeah.
I just want to move the decimals to the percent.
Yeah. Okay, so standard deviation. Standard deviation is the square root of NP. Whoa. So what do we have? NP we found is 4. And 1 minus P, that's going to be 1 minus 0.05, so that's 0.95. And at that point, you just grab your calculator because jokes. 1.949. And that is how we find mean and standard deviation of binomial probability distributions. That's it for the notes. We have ended